Chapter 106. The Unborn's Arrival. Who? Yi Divine Needle's figure swayed and rushed towards Mr. Dongfang's group of people, striking first. After all, the Shoshi's weirdness was well known to Yi Divine Needle. The moment Yi Divine Needle rushed away, steeply, the figure suddenly split into three. HMPH, light and shadow folding technique. Old eunuch, you're fine against outsiders, making an enemy of my Shoshai. The Eastern Essence let out a cold snort. However, the Eastern Essence was seen suddenly extending both palms, probing and pulling. Who are you? In front of the Eastern Essence, a huge transparent wall was steeply formed, and only when the light shone could a trace of reflection be vaguely seen. Boom! Steeply, the Yi Divine Needle crashed into the transparent wall. Two of the light shadow bodies steeply crashed apart. Wow! At the transparent wall that Yi Divine Needle's body crashed into, a skeleton palm steeply emerged, instantly pulling Yi Divine Needle's body. What, asshole? Boom! Yi Shen Needle slashed violently, instantly shattering the skeleton palms, and his body fled away. Dongfang, you dare to deal with County Lord Wenyu? Do you know who she is? Are you not afraid that my great Chen Sage will get angry and destroy your lineage? Yi Divine Needle shouted angrily at once. Extinguish my lineage. Ha! The one that can exterminate me hasn't been born yet. The Eastern Essence laughed coldly as it probed and waved its hand. Boom! The transparent wall suddenly wrapped up towards the sky, and countless skeleton palms, spreading out towards Yi Divine Needle, grabbed over. Yi Divine Needle's face changed. His body quickly fled, but this skeleton palms, in the twinkling of an eye, had been oceanic, encircling Yi Divine Needle in all directions. Rumble. In just an instant, Yi Divine Needle was completely submerged in the skeleton palm. The Eastern Essence revealed a cold smile and probed his hand to strike at the oceanic sea of skeleton palms. Boom! A grey palm dipper rushed into the sea of skeleton palms. Theft! Inside came the sound of Yi Divine Needle spitting out blood. TSK. The great Chen Sage is angry. You want him to come? Ha! Ha ha ha! The eunuchs of Great Chen aren't much better. Ha! The Eastern Essence let out a cold laugh. On the other side, the 5 Eastern servants were however surrounding towards Guhai. As Yi Divine Needle rushed towards the Eastern Essence, Guhai revealed a bitter smile. Eastern Essence, how strong was he? Guhai wasn't sure, but not long ago in the Great Giant Temple Square, the tone of the dialogue between the Eastern Essence and Emperor Shu, Guhai had heard it clearly. He had called Emperor Shu by his name. Moreover, how many of the 8 life masters in the world that could be passed down could be simple? In this place, there was nowhere to escape. But the most crucial thing was that he himself was seriously injured, so he couldn't make a move at all. It was so bad that it couldn't be worse. Woo! Long Wenyu cried in aggravation. The demon ghost spirit in his body was also torn beyond measure at this moment. It didn't dare to open its mouth at the moment. Coughing up a mouthful of blood, Guhai probed his hand and took out a black jade talisman. Snap! Guhai probed his hand and crushed it. At the same time, in the netherworld, at the place of a vast city, in the middle of the city, there were millions of ghosts, and it was incomparably gloomy. I don't know, Great King, we really don't know. We haven't seen the ghosts you mentioned. No, we don't know Long Wanjing. We haven't seen it. Have mercy, have mercy. 10 million ghosts cried out all over the city. The half-black, half-white robed man said in a deep voice, 1,000,000 miles in a radius, all of it is in your evil ghost city's grasp, devouring countless earthly souls alive. And you tell me that you know the 1,000,000 miles like the back of your hand, and you still say that you've seen Long Wanjing. The robed man's voice was very weird, as if it was 2 voices, one old and one young. No, 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 we lied to you then. Great King, we were wrong. We wanted to eat you at that time, seeing that you were powerful. That's why we tricked you into coming to Evil Ghost City. We really haven't seen any long watching. Great King, we were wrong. Spare our lives. Since I'm here, I want a result. Not knowing is extermination. I'll see if you guys really don't know, or if you're faking not knowing. The half-black, half-hundred robed man said in a cold voice. As he spoke, his feet slightly exerted force. Boom, boom, boom. Under the huge force, the evil ghosts in the city exploded one after another, turning into green smoke. Mercy, mercy, we really didn't know. Great King, spare us, we really didn't know. The evil ghosts desperately begged for mercy, but the robed man simply ignored it. The power under his feet grew bigger and bigger. The explosions below grew more and more. 10 million evil ghosts. In just a short while, all of them blew up as much as they could. As if stepping on a bedbug, stepped on a city of evil spirits. When the city's evil ghosts were all extinguished, the robed man did not get the desired result. The sky was overcast. The robed man stood in the air, holding out a jade box in his hand. Girl, still no news of our daughter. I'm sorry, girl. I failed to protect you and killed our daughter. I'm sorry, girl. You suffered the wrath of the heavens to be able to give me a daughter, but I killed my daughter. I'm not a human being. I must find her. I must resurrect her, even if I die. The robed man hugged the jade box. His voice choked a little. All these years, you mother and daughter three have suffered a great deal for me. I failed to take care of you. I swear, no one will want to hurt you anymore. I will find Wuxia first. I must find her at that time. Ha! Steeply, there was a crunching sound from the robed man's waist. The robed man instantly grabbed the crunching object, but it was a black jade talisman, which instantly shattered into powder. The robed man had a steep jolt. When you was in danger, the robed man had a steep jolt and his voice steeply turned hideous. Who dares to hurt my daughter? Who? Long robed man caricatured raw. The hands of the jade talisman shattered steeply into pieces, instantly around the long robed manjuka. The long robed manjuka void steeply a tumble. Buzz. The robed man instantly shifted and disappeared in the tumbling space. Oh, the old eunuch's life is still quite hard. Then I'll deprive you of all your longevity. Let's see how long you can still hold out. Ha ha ha, the Eastern essence said grimly. On the other side, 5 Eastern servants rushed in. In the name of the East, I summon the god of the Eastern Spirit Fire Sea. Grant me divine objects, and destroy my enemies. The 5 Eastern servants cried out near simultaneously, and with the jade ruin their traction, an opening was made in the void, and 5 blue dragons surged out from the netherworld, such as the 8 of the East that had fought against the ancient sea outside of Metropolis not long ago. Only at this moment, the 5 blue dragons came roaring out with even greater power. Ice Mirror Technique. Bingji steeply rushed forward with a loud shout. Boom. Immediately, the 5 blue dragons and the 5 Eastern servants were encircled in a huge ice ball. Stinky girl, looking for death. HMPH. Ice Mirror Technique. Can it block my blue dragons? Go to hell. Within the ice ball, the roars of the 5 Eastern servants were heard. Rumble. The blue dragon was so powerful that it was clearly beyond the range of Ice G's ability to withstand. The ice ball that trapped the crowd quickly developed cracks. It seemed like it was about to break open. Brother-in-law, what now? Long when you said, anxiously, cough cough. Lift that silk cloth and try. Guhai coughed up blood and looked at the stool beside the great killing scent. Long when you immediately rushed towards that silk cloth. Boom. In that split second, a blue dragon boomed and smashed a hole in the ice ball. Along with it came out an oriental servant who immediately stepped on the blue dragon and crashed towards Longwen Yu. Stinky girl, is that something you can take? That Eastern servant let out a roar. Ong. The blue dragon steeply spewed out rolling medieval fire from its mouth, wanting to drown Long Wenyu in an instant in general. Brother-in-law, Long Wenyu instantly cried out in terror. Boom! In the nick of time, Gu Hai pounced Long Wenyu to the ground and dodged the underworld flame. PFFD. Gu Hai sprayed out another mouthful of blood. Brother-in-law. Long Wenyu cried out in horror as she saw Gu Hai spitting out blood again. Ong! The underworld fire dragon roared and rushed towards the duo with a roar. Gu Hai, Long Wenyu. Hey ha 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 ha. Be a pair of outlaws and die together. Hey ha 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 ha. That Eastern servant's face was hideous. The blue dragon carried a destructive aura as it charged straight at Gu Hai and Long Wenyu. Rumble! The blue dragon roared, unstoppable. And that Oriental servant even had a hideous maniacal smile on his face. Right now, the blue dragon was about to open its mouth and swallow the duo. However, at this moment, the jade talisman that was previously crushed at Gu Hai's waist suddenly turned into a burst of black mist. In the black mist, a pale and withered palm blasted out. Boom! That withered palm probed and pressed, and the hideous roaring blue dragon gave a sudden lurch, as if the dragon's head had been stuck in mid-air. Huiyu! The Eastern servant stumbled and almost fell. But it was the black mist that he watched suddenly dispersed, and a robed figure suddenly appeared in front of Gu Hai and Long Wenyu. The robes were white-black and half-white, extremely peculiar. Who? That Eastern servant glared angrily. In his hand, he waved his jade rudra, as if he was about to cast a spell again. However, he saw that robed man, flicking his finger, boom. The blue dragon exploded with a bang, and the Oriental servant above was abruptly blown up into the sky. And even the jade rudra in his hand didn't have a firm grip, it fell and flew out. It crashed into the sphere of the ice mirror Dharma. Boom. At this moment, the remaining 4 dragons also blasted the ice sphere to pieces. Bingji instantly fell aside, spitting out blood from her mouth. The 4 Eastern servants came out in their blue dragons all together. What person? A group of Eastern servants held up the blown-away Eastern servant and stared at him with glaring eyes. Shengren, you've finally come. This is Long Wenyu. Before he left, he gave a black jade talisman to be handed over to Long Wenyu. If there is any danger, pinch the jade talisman, and the Shengren would do his best to rush here. The unsuspecting man came, but what did he see once he arrived? What did Gu Hai say? Long Wenyu, is this my daughter? The unknown man looked at Long Wenyu. Long Wenyu's clothes were torn and tattered, her hair was disheveled, she was covered in wounds, and her whole body was covered in blood. Tears, rain and blood mixed on her face, looking so desperate and helpless. Their own little daughter has been ashamed of the little daughter, the first time they met, but... In an instant, the Shengren felt that his entire body was trembling. A monstrous rage suddenly erupted from within. Who dares to hurt my daughter? Tilde 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 tilde. The Shengren's tone carried a fury that broke through everything. He twisted his head and looked over. Boom! With the unliving person as the center, a sky-covering black gas rumbled out behind him, and within the black gas, the sound of billions of ghosts crying seemed to resound, and a large, sinister, evil aura suddenly rushed straight towards the group of Eastern servants. Who are you? The Oriental servant who had been blown away earlier abruptly changed his face. Who are you? That Oriental servant felt his body shake and disappeared in place. In the next moment, it suddenly arrived at the place of the withered palm of the unsouled person and was grabbed by the head. It was you just now. Were you the one who wanted to kill my daughter? In the voice of the unliving man, there was an aftershock of trembling. The morose coldness made one's scalp numb.